3, 2, 1.
We're live.
What is up, guys? Welcome to episode number 48 of the Good Point Bro podcast, number 48. My name's Kay, and this is my little bro, Cam.
Don't sleep.
Don't sleep, baby. As you guys know, and we know, you're going to love today's episode, so please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit the like. Go ahead and comment something real fancy.
Follow us on TikTok at goodpoint.bro.
On Instagram at
goodpointbro.
On Twitter at I don't know. Caden Hearn. Cam's not on Twitter yet. You guys got to holler at him. Get him on Twitter. I don't know.
Y'all don't want me on Twitter, bro.
Cam get canceled real quick if he's on Twitter.
Try to cancel me, guys.
We're very cancelable at the moment. I hate to say it. We're going to get right into it today because we never get right into it. We got to get a new couch.
You think?
Yeah, man. I think I sit too low in it. It makes me tired.
I mean, I just don't like my posture, I guess.
Because it makes you
I'd rather
fat.
have, like, 2 chairs, honestly. I'd rather have 2, like, leather chairs.
Or, like, I want a chair I can
And
spin around in.
But this is perfect
Yeah.
for this chair. Like this.
The clamp?
Yeah.
We'll just put a little end table next to your chair and it'll clamp to that.
Yeah. I'd rather do that.
Yeah. NFL or NBA?
Well, you know what we'd also do?
NFL.
No, I'm saying, like, we have a table between that, and that's where we put all our stuff in the middle, between the chairs.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh,
And on the wall and stuff.
yeah.
It's about to get all screwed when Adam
We're gonna have this clock forever. What?
Nothing. He thinks I'm... Anyway. NFL?
Yeah.
All right. A lot going on today in the news. I'm a Chicago Bears fan. If you guys follow this Chicago Bears fan, I'm a Chicago Bears fan. If you guys follow us and you're a Bears fan, you should stick around. Justin Fields. What should they do with him? I guess you want me to just take it over?
Yeah, go ahead.
As a Bears fan, Cam's a Bryce Young fan. He's also a Patrick Mahomes fan. Any team that makes the Super Bowl, he's a fan of them as well.
I wasn't a fan of the Eagles. They made the Super Bowl.
I mean,
I like
because they were playing.
I'm attracted to greatness.
Guess what would have happened?
That's why I like Bryce Young and Patrick Mahomes.
But I think that if the Eagles had lost, you would have found a reason to been a fan of somebody. You'd have been
I would have
Hurts. I'm an Eagles fan.
I would have hurt for Patrick Mahomes. No pun intended.
Anyway, should the Bears get rid of Justin Fields? What should they do with the number 1 overall pick? At first, I wanted to say that you should keep. Huh? What's up?
Huh?
My eyes?
No, you needed better energy for the clip.
I don't even know if this will be a clip or not. But
This should be a clip because you need to be telling
All right,
what
all
you're doing
right.
with the number 1 pick.
what do the Bears need to do with the number 1 overall pick in this year's NFL draft? To me, as a Bears fan, I think originally I thought we should keep Justin Fields. Go ahead and draft some guys to get around him. But now I'm kind of leaning towards just going ahead and getting help from Justin Fields in the form of a first-round pick. Go ahead and draft Bryce Young, reset the QB rookie contract deal, have a few extra years to kind of build around him instead. Maybe get offensive line help. Definitely need a defensive line, like the 32nd overall defensive line in the NFL, and then obviously some weapon. Everything we need, everything, and anything that we can get right now, I will take for it. So,
But it starts at quarterback.
I just don't think that. I mean, Fields, man, he's good. He's a great runner. He's the best runner in the NFL, but he's the 30th overall passer in the NFL, or it feels like it. So I don't know. I think that Bryce Young might just have a slightly higher ceiling. Justin Fields might be better next year, maybe the year after that as well. But I think Bryce Young's ceiling overall is going to be higher for the overall Bears organization, especially not having to pay him, 2 years sooner, as you would with Justin.
Well, I agree with Todd McShay. He said that Bryce Young is a miniature Patrick Mahomes. And if you just watch Bryce Young play, there is nobody that is more prepared for the NFL than him right now. The decisions he makes, his passing ability, his accuracy, the way he moves in the pocket, the way he avoids sacks, there's nobody more ready for the NFL than Bryce Young right now. So I agree with Todd McShay fully. I think that the Bears will be foolish if they passed up on him. Dude, why are you doing that?
For memories.
Bro.
Are you taking video?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah, I think it would be foolish to pass up on Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young's one of those athletes, and that he's so special that no matter where he goes, he will win. So I feel like the Bears do a lot of things wrong. They always pick the wrong quarterback. They don't draft well whatsoever. They don't hire coaches at all or any good coaches. What are they on? Like their 4th or 5th head coach in the last 10 years. I mean, draft Bryce Young and good things will happen because Bryce Young is a leader. He's talented. He loves the game of football. He's gonna make everybody better. So draft him, trade Justin Fields, get some pieces for him, get some defensive linemen like you were saying, maybe get some weapons, whatever. But drafting Bryce Young is the nucleus of all this.
All right, bro. All right, you got it.
All right, I'm just saying.
He was raising his
I
hand.
raised my hand. So
Oh.
I'm going to do
All
that
right,
now.
so-
Instead of like when I have something I want to say, I'll just do this. And then you guys let me know when to come in so I don't cut you off. What I'm interested in seeing is over the next like 4 years, because I still feel like Young needs like one rookie year, unless he comes and he's just outstanding. I want to see who has a better career between Fields and Youngs. That's what I'm going to be interested in watching because I know the Bears aren't going to take him. Why? Because they should. And the Bears don't do anything that they should. So I'm going to be able to sit here again, just like Mahomes, every time he throws a pass in the playoffs, in a Super Bowl, wins a game. It's just a little dagger in my heart because we passed him up for Trubisky, who, as of right now, might not even be on the team. And now I'm going to be able to, in the same scenario, where I feel like, well, I'm going to be able to watch Young. You know, maybe he won't be as good as Mahomes right off the bat. But Young's going to be in the playoffs, and we're going to have Fields that's on some other team as a backup while we're still trying to figure out our quarterback issues.
Well, I feel like, think about how dumb the Bears were for drafting Trubisky because he only played 12 games for North Carolina. All he was just projectable.
Well, he was Zach Wilson. He was Will Levis.
Yeah. And that's the thing about size is not everything. I don't understand why so many scouts put so much emphasis into that. Like Will Levis, he's a good projectable prospect, but he didn't play that good for Kentucky at all.
No.
And I understand that he doesn't have the weapons that like Bryce did, but remember Bryce.
No, he
didn't
might
as
have.
good yeah,
He might
Bryce
have.
did not have as good weapons as years past with Alabama, but because Will Levis is 6'3", 230, and has a cannon, they think that he's gonna be successful in the NFL, which. I'm not saying that he's not, but sometimes you just got to go with your eyes. And your eyes definitely say that Bryce Young is the best player in this draft.
For sure. How long was that?
7 minutes, 30 seconds.
Let's go. Let's just do top 5. Top 5 QBs going into next season.
All right, you want me to go ahead?
I got it. I got it pulled up. I'm making sure I didn't do anything wrong.
All right, then I'll go ahead.
Well, what are yours? Oh, you didn't even put them in it. All right. Here's my top 5 QBs going into next season. All right. Number 1, without any dispute at all, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is the number 1 QB in the NFL. Has been for the last 4 years. Number 2, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, I think he got over the hump this year. He beat Josh Allen in the playoffs. Had an overall better season. Highest completion percentage in NFL history. So I put him at number 2. Number 3 and well-deserved is Jalen Hurts. Number 4, Josh Allen. And number 5, Justin Herbert. So for me, Jalen was 4th in QBR. 2nd in touchdown to interception ratio, and he was 1st in rushing touchdowns. Also, he took his team to the Super Bowl and had an outstanding performance in the Super Bowl. Honestly, one that's better than most that we've seen in recent years. So, for me, Jalen Hurts has put himself not only into the top 5 conversation, but into the top 3 conversation. Obviously, I have Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes over him, and it's by a good margin. I think those are the 2 best. I don't think anybody else is really in that top 2 conversation. Obviously, nobody's in that 1 conversation, but I think the gap between 1 and 2 is closer than 2 and 3.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I cannot believe you put Jalen Hurts over Josh Allen. You always talk about recency bias, bro. This is recency bias at its finest. With you
It's not.
with
Josh
you
Allen.
putting Jalen
Josh
Hurts
Allen.
over Allen.
Josh Allen is one of the most inefficient red zone quarterbacks in the last 10 years.
Okay, well, hold
That's
on.
not a-
hold on.
I
Let
put him
me-
at number
I'll
4.
I'll name my top 5, and then we can get into this. So my top 5 QBs going into next year, I got number 1, the GOAT, Mahomes. Number 2, Batman, Joe Burrow. Number 3, Josh Allen. He accounts for 80% of his team's offense. He has no run game, and his defense suffered with the injury to Von Miller. Number 4, I got Jalen Hurts, undeniable Super Bowl performance. You just can't. For his first Super Bowl, that's insane. And number 5, Lamar Jackson. Don't sleep on him. 3 years ago, he won the MVP. He's had good years. He's the most dynamic player in the NFL by far. I think that he's going to find success next year and hopefully doesn't get injured. But back to you. You cannot put Jalen Hurts over Josh Allen yet. We were just talking about during the season how you were like maybe Josh Allen's MVP because he's still putting up great stats and he accounts for 85% of his team's total
80.
yards.
At the time, it's lower now.
Oh,
but
okay.
But
now,
either
now,
way, it was 80 at the time. And guess who was the leading favorite for MVP when I said that?
Patrick Mahomes.
No.
Or was that
Jalen
before
Hurts.
Jay? No, it was after Hurts got injured because we were saying that Pat Mahomes is now the MVP, and then you were like, based off your logic, then you have to say Josh Allen because we were saying how much
Based off
more
your
of a-
logic.
my
Not
logic,
my logic.
because of how much
My
Patrick
logic
Mahomes-
was Jalen Hurts proved that he was still the MVP because the team lost twice without him.
Yeah, well, obviously Pat Mahomes is MVP. You can't get hurt for 2 or 3 games like that and take it away from a guy who passed or broke the single season passing record for yards.
Well, yeah, I mean, he ended up being the MVP. That's fine.
But dude, Josh Allen's been established in the NFL. Josh Allen is a good playoff performer.
Has he?
Yes, he has
He's
been established.
500 in the playoffs.
He
he's
had the best
never-
QBR
he's
in
never made it to
NFL
a Super Bowl.
history. He
Not
had the
anymore. He just threw like 4 interceptions.
I know he
last
didn't play well,
postseason.
but we were saying, yeah, but he didn't play awful against the Dolphins. He didn't play awful. At least he won the game.
He won the game by 3 against the Dolphins team with no QB.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's NFL. Like, close games are going to happen. But, yeah, that he should have beat them.
And then he got absolutely smoked at home by Joe Burrow.
Yeah, but hold on. Go ahead, Adam. Go ahead.
Also, I think he threw 2 picks in that game.
So, with that snowball that he played in, like we saw how bad their offensive line was against the
Yes.
Chiefs. So if during that snowball the defense really couldn't plant their feet to really get after him. So there was more of like
Get after who?
the Bills' defensive line,
Cannot get Burrow.
right? Couldn't get to
Right, but it's the same difference.
No, but
it
what I'm-
applies to both teams.
But what I'm saying is right. But I'm wondering if the Bills played the Bengals with that banged up offensive line on a dry field.
That's a totally different game, 100%.
Right. So maybe that how bad their offensive line was actually at that point in time
Right.
was exposed a game later because
That's
the Bills
fine.
couldn't get to them.
So let's say that is the case.
Yeah.
The Bills' offense scored 10 points.
Yeah, he didn't have a great game, but we're not going to take one playoff game. And
No. I'm disputing his thing, which was about defense to offense, and the defense was the Bills, and the offense was the Bengals. So to counter that, the problem in the game wasn't the defense. The defense allowed 27 points and held Joe Burrow to only 2 touchdowns. The problem was the Bills' offense, who couldn't score more than 27, who only had 10 total points, and he had no touchdowns and a pick, and he had a less than 50% completion
hold on.
percentage.
First of all, giving up 27 points in that weather is unacceptable.
It's
And
not.
number 2,
They scored 10,
How-
Cam.
okay.
Like, that's the problem with the game.
How-
He had less than a 50% completion percentage. He threw with no touchdowns, and he had a pick.
we're not saying that he played well. We're just saying that
That's why they lost.
it was unfortunate circumstances.
This is the difference between all these games. When the Cincinnati Bengals lost to the Chiefs, what was the reason they lost? Not Joe Burrow. When the Eagles lost, what was the reason they lost? Not Jalen Hurts. When the 49ers lost, that was a QB. When the Bills lost, that was a QB. That's the difference. You cannot be a top 3 QB and then also in turn still be the reason that your team lost.
Well, last year he lost in overtime against Mahomes. Should have beat him that time, or at least had a great opportunity to.
That's fine. He played
So,
very well. I'm saying
He's
you
played
cannot be
very well in the playoffs.
going
up to that game.
into next season. You cannot end the year being the sole reason that your team lost.
I think there's many factors. I think it's because their defense. One, I think they wore down a lot during the season. They had a ton of injuries. They had absolutely no run game. They have weapons, but they don't have as good as weapons as Cincinnati or the Chiefs. All they have is Stephon Diggs, right?
What do you mean they
As far as
don't? Because
weapons.
T. Higgins?
Because T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is better than.
Speaking of Stephon
Diggs,
Diggs, 4
and
receptions for 30 yards in that game.
Yeah. I'm saying that he doesn't have as good as weapons as the Chiefs and Bengals, obviously.
That's so BS
Dude.
to me because I won't do that again. But that's so BS to me because before the year started, everyone was like, this team is absolutely beyond stacked. There's nothing. They're the most stacked team in the NFL. And then we get to the playoffs and we're like, oh, no,
Well,
they're
'cause-
actually undermanned.
Well,
like,
yeah,
that doesn't
they
make
got
sense.
injuries throughout the whole year.
Not in their
And
offense?
we found out that they have absolutely zero run game. And we were talking about that the whole year. And when you have no run game, it's virtually impossible to win in the playoffs. We know that. Another thing is I just want to know why you're putting Jalen over Josh. Like, Josh Allen has had 3 solid years in the NFL. He's had good playoff success early in his career. Like, he's an established quarterback in this game. Everybody was saying how He's like easily a top 5, top 3 quarterback, and just because of one playoff performance in the snow, nobody's making an excuse for that. Like that, he played bad, but that just happens sometimes. That doesn't mean that just because a guy who took off this year already jumps him. I don't think that we should put Jalen over him yet. I think that Jalen needs more sustained success. He also had the best roster in the NFL by far. If you put Josh Allen on that team, I think that they have the same success.
Well, that same group of guys couldn't win without him. Also, to rebuttal that, you're talking about like sustained success, right?
Right.
So his sustained success is 500 in the postseason, no MVPs, no personal accomplishments, some decent stats a couple years. Also, those stats very comparable to the stats that the ones I just saw from the team that went to the Super Bowl. So I'm not even saying that just going into next year. If I made a QB power ranking, then sure, maybe I'd put Josh Allen over him. But I'm talking about going into next season, what QBs do I rank and what are their orders? And that's my order. I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a better season next year. And I really don't even think that's crazy.
Well, okay. Well, Jalen Hurts didn't have a good game against the 49ers. Not saying that he played as bad as Josh Allen, but the one thing I'll give Jalen Hurts is I feel like he didn't put the Eagles in position to lose because he made better decisions than Josh Allen. Like, he didn't turn over the ball as much, obviously. But I think that Jalen's more a product of his system, and Josh Allen has the capability to elevate people where Jalen Hurts, I don't think he can.
Why do you not
Josh
think
Allen
that?
right now. Because I think Jalen Hurts was more of a product of a great organization, great weapons, the best offensive line.
Great weapons. Great point. Great weapons.
What-
Let's focus on that let's focus on that, and then you can finish to the other stuff. Let's look at his weapons. Running back, best receiving season of his career. A.J. Brown, best season of his career. Devontae Smith, best season of his career. Why were those elevated?
Because of his offensive line. And Jalen Hurts played well.
Their offensive line is good, yeah, but Jalen Hurts elevated them. Because
Well,
they
you said that their
because they
offensive line
weren't
is
as good.
like freakishly good because they are.
They are very good, but I think they're freakishly good because they're all drafted by the team. That's what's crazy.
So they're
about
like
it.
because they're chemistry. Like chemistry is.
Well, I mean,
important
they're
on-
young, so I don't know if they
Well,
quite have
like
chemistry
is
yet. But
important on an offensive line because like they're calling out dudes and you got to trust the guy beside you. So yeah, that makes sense. That
yeah,
they're
so
raw.
it's crazy to me that they were all drafted. Which all that stuff's going to be skewed too, because like let's say your right tackle, right guard are phenomenal Pro Bowlers. Your center's a Pro Bowler because he's Jason Kelsey, and then let's say your left tackle and left guard are a
I
little
thought
bit
their
weaker.
center was a dude from Alabama and Kelly was.
Dickerson's
their
their left guard.
Oh, he's
Landon
not the
Dickerson's
center.
the left guard. Jason Kelsey's the center.
Oh, okay.
Let's just say those guys are all pro. Those three guys, right? And then your two tackles, for instance. I don't know their actual schematics, but let's say the two tackles aren't. When you have three Pro Bowlers on your team, you're obviously going to be elevated. You know what I mean? So how good their offensive line is, like, let's say their left tackle went and he was the best player on the Bears O-line. Would he probably be a top 20 O-lineman? Probably not.
Okay, well, I have a question for you. This is a good question. Did the pieces around him, the offense line, the amazing defense, elevate Jalen Hurts more than Jalen Hurts elevated them? I think so. That's how I'd put that. I think
Was
the pieces around him-
Gardner Minshew better when he was still on the Jaguars as a starter or when he was the starter on the Eagles?
I think he was about the same.
Okay, so
Maybe.
he wasn't elevated, so why would Jalen Hurts be?
Well, I mean, he almost beat the Cowboys on the road. He had over 300 passing yards.
He also had
touchdowns.
3 turnovers.
Yeah,
Or
but
4. He had 4 turnovers.
no, he had 2.
He had a
picks
fumble.
and
He
a
had-
fumble, so 3. He had 3
I feel
turnovers.
like he had 4.
No, he had 3. He had 3 turnovers because I remember I thought that he threw 3 picks, but he threw 2 picks and a fumble. But anyways, he still had 3 touchdowns and still almost beat the Cowboys on the road.
Which the Cowboys were proven to be not a
They're
good
still
team.
a good. What? Whoa! They're not a good team. They almost beat the 49ers. They're a good NFL team. They're a top 7, 8 NFL team. That's on the
I don't
road.
think they are.
I do.
I don't. I think they're around 10 at best.
Bro, you're tripping. They
Because-
almost
because
beat the
why?
49ers.
All right, but what? Okay, so sorry, our camera died because I don't know why. But
I
anyway,
sensed it. I said it before the podcast to charge it.
It had two bars, so let's just chalk it up to talk fast, guys. We're running out.
is it?
No, I'm
Oh. Hey, look! Make sure you look for that
But
thing blinking. That's
Why
about to die.
the
I don't know
camera?
if it will, but
why the camera?
it should be
was-
on the screen, or we'll see it too.
Why the camera was charging? We were talking about the Cowboys, and I think that they're a top 8 team in the NFL.
That's
They-
fine. But my point isn't that they're top 8. My point is that I think they would lose to every team in the NFC
That's
playoffs.
football. That's called the NFL. There's only a couple teams that maybe be invincible, but everyone, it's every.
No,
have you ever heard the phrase "every given
would-
Sunday"?
No, that's not the point. Would you pick them over the Texans?
Yes,
Yes, exactly. My point is,
but
there's
could the
teams
Texans beat them? Yes.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I would pick them.
Oh, then you're tripping.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's break it down because you're tripping.
Here's all the teams that I would pick over the Cowboys in the playoffs this year. I would pick the Eagles. Okay.
God.
I would pick the Bengals. I would pick the
Okay.
Chiefs. That's 3.
Okay.
I would pick the 49ers. That's 4.
True.
I would pick the Bills. That's 5. I would pick the
Toss-up.
Chargers. That's 6.
Tripping.
Dude. I would pick the
That's
Jaguars.
terrible.
I would pick the Jaguars. That's 7.
Nope. Not even close.
And if the Lions had made the playoffs, I would pick the Lions. That's
Yeah,
8.
you're tripping. You're
Now we're
you're
going.
fi-
Now it seems like you can make it.
You're fishing for that. You're fishing for teams because you know that they're a top 8 team. And if you don't think they're a top 8 team, they have a top 5 defense. They had the best offense efficiency with Dak
That's
Prescott.
fine. They can
Let
be
me
a top 8
finish.
team.
Let me finish. They had a top offense in the NFL with Dak Prescott took over for Cooper Rush.
Okay,
They almost beat the 49. They almost beat the 49ers at the 49ers. And if Dak doesn't throw 2 picks and loses the turnover battle when Brock Purdy, they didn't have one. No, Brock
I
had
said
one
8
pick.
to 10.
But they lost the turnover battle on the road against the 49ers, who had the best defense in the NFL, and still should have won the game.
Okay,
So
let me say this again.
they're a
You're
top
arguing with
8
the
team.
wall because I don't not think that they're not. I said 8 to 10. I said I would pick 7
you said
teams.
10 to 12.
I said 7. First of all, you can go watch the tapes. I said 7.
Mm.
And I said 7. I said I would pick 7 teams over them. So I guess I would put them at 8.
I
but
thought you said they're 10 to 12 range. That's what I heard.
I never said 10 to 12. I can promise you that.
I think you
I can
did.
promise you
I
that.
think you did.
Well, no,
I think you did.
he's reneging.
Okay, so then we agree that they're a top 8 team.
There,
At
yeah, I
least a
said
top
like I
8
said
team.
before, and I'm sticking to it. 8 to 10.
They're probably like to me 6 or 7.
And there's at least 7 teams that I pick over them. And I think that any team that made the NFC,
How do you pick the Chargers over them, bro? They have no defense.
I
They
mean,
got a little bit better as the season went on, but they still have no defense, and
Okay, good.
and they're also like their offensive line is terrible. Like Justin Herbert had no time. Just cause I mean they have some good receivers like Keenan Allen. I forget the other dude that you were talking about that had a
It
great
depends
year.
on which Dak shows up. If Tampa Bay Dak shows up, then they can beat a lot of those teams. If the second round Dak shows up, they'll lose to any team that made the NFC playoff.
Okay, but second
Any
round
team.
Dak did show up, and they still almost beat the 49ers on the road. That's how
Al-
good of a team they
Almost
are.
because the 49ers offense fell apart and Brock Purdy had the most average
So we're
game
not
of all
giving
time.
credit to the Cowboys defense that game because they played out
yeah,
of their mind.
I would give credit to them if they
More
had played.
credit than the 49ers not.
Okay,
being
hold
good.
on. I would give them credit if they had played a elite QB. Brock Purdy is an average QB.
Yeah, but they still minimized their run game. They could not run the football that game. The best run game in the NFL, they couldn't do it. They neutralized them. They had an amazing game on defense. They obliterated them.
Obliterated.
Yes. Their offensive, their whole offensive game was
They ran
destroyed
for
that game.
113.
And obviously it was such a physical game. It took such a toll on them that they couldn't even like play the
they
Eagles.
had 350
So-
yards. They had 350
Adam
yards.
liked that one.
I mean,
Dude, the Cowboys are physical. They will get after you. Listen, I like to troll the Cowboys, but man, I like to watch them. And that game against the 49ers was a physical, tough, hard-nosed game that I love to watch. And if Dak Prescott doesn't throw 2 picks, we have a totally different conversation about these top teams going into next year. Totally different.
there's a lot of things we could say about the Chiefs.
Listen, and also this. The Cowboys and the Eagles are a rivalry, so crazy stuff happens in rivalry games, right? So what I'm saying is they definitely put up
The
a better
Cowboys and 49ers are a bigger rivalry.
They definitely put up a better fight than the Eagles? Than the Cowboys and Eagles?
The Cowboys and 49ers were like the 2 teams in the NFC for like 20
Well,
years.
I'm just saying that's another rivalry, and the two they've been talking smack all year. Like the build up for that game would have been legendary. So who knows? Like emotions are high. We don't know. But the Cowboys would have showed up that game, and I think it would have at least been a close game and not just a freaking blowout like it was against San Francisco. Because they at least have a quarterback.
The Kansas City Chiefs officially a dynasty.
No, they're not a dynasty because the rule. I don't make up the rules. The rules for a dynasty, you got to win 3 out of 5, and the Chiefs don't have that. They got 2 out of 4. If they repeat, they're a dynasty. If they don't, they're not. The Cowboys in the 90s won 3 out of 5. The New England Patriots with Tom Brady early in his career won 3 out of 5. Those are dynasties. The Chiefs aren't there yet, but they're close.
To me, the Chiefs are borderline a dynasty. I think the Chiefs might just be a dynasty. They have a 64-18 record, the best in the NFL. They have 5 straight AFC championship games. They have 3 Super Bowl appearances as well as 2 Super Bowl rings. I mean, and all that within 5 years to me. Because we talk about dynasties. Sometimes those dynasties are length of like 15 seasons.
And but they have like 6 or 7 titles. Like the Patriots. Like the only,
Well,
the
I
only
don't know.
long-term
The NFC
dynasty we talk about is Patriots that went over a span of like 15 plus years, but they had 6 Super Bowls to show for it.
See,
That
for
makes
me,
sense.
it is a lot less common in the NFL than any other sport for teams to win so many titles in such a short amount of time. So with that being said, 5 straight AFC championship appearances, 2 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowl appearances, a 64-18 record in 5 years. To me, that is enough to probably put yourself in a position to be considered a dynasty.
My opinion, there's a difference between a good run, and a dynasty. A dynasty has a different connotation to it. When you hear a dynasty, you think of just straight greatness. I'm not putting the Chiefs in that category yet with those other teams I mentioned. What I will say is they're on a great run, and if they repeat, now we're talking dynasty because 3 rings is better than 2. And the rules for a dynasty is that you got to win 3 out of 5. And I'm not going to move the goalpost for the Chiefs, even though I love them and you guys know that. They got to win 3 out of 5. And they got to have 1 repeat because the Cowboys repeated and the Patriots repeated. The last team to repeat in the NFL was the Patriots at that time. They're not no dynasty unless they repeat. I need sustained dominance for 2 years straight.
Take that for data.
Yeah, and the Bills went to 4 Super Bowls.
And lost all 4. Well, yeah, he
Yeah,
didn't
they
even
lost
win
all
1.
4.
They're a dynasty for the NFC or the AFC. They're one of the best AFC teams, I guess.
Switching over into the NBA. Let's go ahead.
I bet.
We got plenty out of that one. Switching over to the NBA, do the new look Lakers have a chance to make it out of the Western Conference?
I think they do. I think they have a puncher's chance. I give them like a 15% chance to do it. Listen, you get rid of Russ. They were saying he was a vampire in the locker room. He was sucking the energy and blood out of everyone. Everyone knew they weren't a good fit. Everybody seemed like they were in a down mood. Even Anthony Davis, when LeBron broke the record, he was still down because they were losing to the Thunder, which is an average team. You get rid of him and you add 2 shooters, 2 vets. D'Angelo Russell is a good young player. He's going to show up in big moments. He's got ice in his veins, if you remember. I think that the new look Lakers are – listen, you give LeBron shooters and defense and another superstar, and you're going to be in the finals. I'm sorry. You're going to be in the finals. So if you get the best version of LeBron and you get a best version of AD and you get 3 and D guys, you are going to the NBA finals. He does not lose in conference. He doesn't. I don't care about the Suns. People are already overrating the Suns. The Mavericks have no defense. The Nuggets aren't ready yet. They are in good position to maybe win the West. You know what? I'm upping it from 15. I'm going to 30%, 33%. Give them a 33% chance to get out of the West because you put LeBron in the playoffs and good things happen. Bank that. All right.
Clip it.
That's when you write down, Adam. The time. Come on, bro. I need you. You're watching the game, like Coach is saying. You're getting caught watching the game.
Boy. Yeah, I think you're good on that. Oh, I don't even want to talk about it. When ranking all-time players, would you rather? Or okay, it's blinking. I don't know how long we have. Like 5 minutes, maybe.
All right, let's go.
Let me do. Let's just do this first before I do that, just to make sure we have.
When
this
it
one.
dies, it still like keeps the clip, right? Like everything that we just
yeah.
recorded. Yeah.
You're fine. Don't
Yeah.
worry about
That would suck if that happened.
it. That'd be awesome.
Here, let's do this first. As a LeBron fan, and all of the LeBron fans watching, would you exchange LeBron winning? Let me do that faster. Would you exchange LeBron winning a title this year, 4-5, but you would never be able to watch LeBron play on a basketball court ever again? TV, in person, nothing. You can never watch him again.
Absolutely. I mean, okay, if I were to tell you this, if you had a son and you knew he was going to be a millionaire and successful, but you can never see him again, would you do it?
No.
I would. Because I know that he's going to be off somewhere doing good things, and that's fine. If I know that LeBron is taking care of him and he's getting another ring on his finger and he completed his hand, I'm fine. I never have to watch him again, and I'll be in peace.
So
100%.
LeBron's your son.
Yeah, I guess. In that instance, he's my son. I just want to let.
How much is that? How long is that?
It's 10 minutes.
So
we're
what is
at
that,
20.
30?
We're at.
No, you guys are.
Oh, we're at 28. Oh, we were at 20 minutes before.
It was like
I want to talk about like we can just talk
Yeah, we'll
about
just
this.
go
I
to-
do want to talk about
Curry and Durant. So if you were
Curry Durant.
Yeah, so if you were going to rank your top however many players, and Curry, Durant, both the names come up, who are you ranking higher?
Okay, you cannot put Durant over Curry, and I will tell you why. Curry has more rings. He's a better leader. He was drafted into a team and built them up from the ground. Durant is a follower. He just goes to different teams, wants to get in good situation. Curry makes the situation. Curry is the leader. He's the reason why Durant has 2 rings. And just because Durant maybe performed better in one finals, the second finals, it's arguable that Curry could have won the finals MVP. But because Durant outperformed him doesn't mean that. Curry sacrificed his stats, his three-pointers, blah, 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 whatever you want to say for Durant's success because he knew that was the betterment of the team, and that's a sign of a true leader. Durant is a product of a system, and Curry is a system. So I'm not putting Durant
So, in other
over
words, Curry is the thermostat. Kevin Durant is the thermometer.
Whatever you want to put it. I don't know what that means, but sure.
Thermostat sets the temp.
Oh.
Thermometers just tell you what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And look at Durant now. Wasted 3 years. He couldn't. You can't blame listen, I love how people do this. I'm going to say this. Because every time LeBron's in an organization and something goes wrong, we blame it on LeBron, not the organization. However, when Kevin Durant loses 3 years in a row at Brooklyn and everything bad happens, we blame the organization. Oh, it's the vice president. Oh, it's the owner. We don't blame Kevin Durant. The Brooklyn Nets collapse is on Kevin Durant. It's not on anyone else. You are the leader of the franchise. You are the marquee player. You are a top 3 player in the NBA. You have to make it work. You have to be the leader. I'm not blaming on the organization. I'm blaming on you. So those 3 years where you failed in Brooklyn are on Kevin Durant. And that's a black mark on his legacy. Because those are supposed to be, he was what, 30 when he went to Brooklyn? 30 from 33. If you look at all the great players, that's like their prime. Because they're still like a crazy athlete.
Yeah, his is
and
a
he's
little
got
bit
the
skewed
mind.
because of that Achilles tear.
Yeah, but I'm saying he was back at 30, and he looked fine when he came back. Like, he was balling. So I get mad because we blame LeBron when things go wrong, not the organization. But when KD and the Nets fail, we blame the organization, not KD. We're like, fine, KD can get out of there. No, he ran from the problem.
I don't want to dispute any of that. You carry today, buddy. All right, guys, that's all for episode number 48 of the Good Point Bro podcast. It's been a pleasure. We're going to go ahead and end this before the camera dies. But please go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. As you guys know, follow us on goodpoint.bro or at goodpoint.bro.
On TikTok, we're growing.
Instagram.
We're growing.
TikTok,
Even though we got
we're
a video
flying.
get 500,000, we only get 200 followers.
Yeah, we don't even care about it.
Yeah, follow us. We need more followers.
Yeah, please follow.
We're growing. You don't want to miss it.
Crazy.
Like, subscribe, and share.
Like, subscribe, and share.
No, then you gotta
Bank it.
Like, subscribe, and share.
All right, Adam, you want to say your goodbye?